Alright, it's been a long time since I've done a piece to camera like this, so let's hope it goes alright. So the new trailer for Avengers Endgame just came out, and it had me thinking about some stuff, you know. The MCU is undoubtedly an incredible achievement, and I just want to talk about that for a second because it's easy to take it for granted when there's been just so much of it in our faces for the last 11 years. So about 11 years ago, I first found out about this whole interconnected Marvel Universe thing that we're doing. And I remember the prospect of that was so exciting. Iron Man was about to come out, and yeah, we hadn't seen anything quite like that before because as a kid, I was a big fan of the Marvel Universe, and the big joy I got out of it was seeing, you know, Spider-Man interact with the Fantastic Four and Iron Man interact with the Hulk. And just the idea that all this stuff could happen on film one day was just... And in those early days of the MCU, it was really exciting seeing these in-universe tie-ins. Like we started with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. And I remember seeing Incredible Hulk and seeing like things like the Super Soldier Serum in the background, or Cap Shield in the background of Iron Man, or the Shield logo, things like that. And which now doesn't seem like much because all that stuff's just so in there. But seeing those little connections really made it feel like a tangible, connected universe that, you know, it was exciting. Even though that Hulk movie wasn't like the best. It was no Ang Lee's Hulk, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it was just really cool. And seeing those Easter eggs being expanded out into bigger things, like Cap Shield in Iron Man 1, where it just felt like a little insignificant Easter egg at the time. But then you flash forward to Captain America, the first Avenger, and you find out that Howard Stark actually built all the prototype shields for Steve Rogers. It's almost like, you know, those exquisite corpse project things you do in primary school where like someone draws the start of the drawing and then they fold the piece of paper and you kind of have to draw the next bit and you fold it and then the next person draws like the final bit. It's kind of like that with the Marvel Universe, kind of, where they put these little Easter eggs in at the time, and then when new writers are brought on, they expand that into this whole story thread or plot line. I think that's really cool. And you know, looking back on the 21 films we have now, it's pretty impressive to see those bits of foreshadowing and character threads that were started and sprinkled throughout each of the films, which is what kind of brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is Avengers Endgame, which I think is going to cap off, no pun intended, which I think is going to cap off all the character threads and story arcs that have been set up thus far in the MCU. Obviously not with the characters that got snapped in Infinity War, but the characters that were left behind, because those are the ones that were with us from the beginning. Especially Cap and Tony. I think their arcs are going to have a really good payoff. They've done a good job at introducing us to these characters, having them interact with the rest of the world, and you know, having them grow and change through each movie. I feel like once we look at the MCU as a whole, certain films are going to be elevated to a level that we didn't quite appreciate them at the time. I think Age of Ultron especially was at fault of this. A lot of that just felt like setups for upcoming movies rather than feeling like its own cohesive thing. Funnily enough, the most complete aspect of that movie was the whole Hawkeye family thing. Like, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, anyways, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I think Endgame is going to really pay off all these character threads that have been set up thus far and really feel like a proper conclusion to the MCU that has come before it. I remember when Infinity War was coming out, people were saying like that was going to be the big conclusion, but I feel like Infinity War concluded the potential negative foreshadowing that was set up in the previous movies, like Tony's visions in Age of Ultron of the Avengers dying. So Infinity War was the first half of that conclusion, but I feel like this is really going to hammer it home. It's pretty much confirmed now that this is going to be a time travel movie, which I think is awesome. A time travel movie is the perfect way to give a send-off to these characters. We're going into their past, into past movies, I hope. And it'll be a good way to just round off their character arcs, bring back things that have kind of been lost along the way, and really give these characters a proper send-off. Cap and Tony especially are going to be at the center of this film. I just know it, and I'm looking forward to how that all goes down. I've either forgotten the point I was trying to make with this video, or like maybe I just didn't have a point. But the point is, I guess I'm really excited for Endgame. I'm sure everyone else is too. And it's going to be really satisfying to see what 11 years of movies pay off in such a huge way. And yeah, I'm not going to ask you guys if you guys are looking forward to Endgame, because yeah, everyone is. I guess I can ask, what are you most looking forward to seeing in Endgame? Like, what story threads do you want to see concluded? What payoffs do you want to see? Me personally, the two things I want to see the most is Steve and Peggy having their final dance together that they never got to have, because, you know, time travel shenanigans, you know, that it can happen. Or even a dream sequence, I think that would be fine. And Tony taking a step back from the whole Avengers thing and kind of handing the baton onto a new generation of heroes, because I think that's a more satisfying arc for Tony than him sacrificing himself. Because, you know, he's already tried to sacrifice himself in first Avengers and kind of in Infinity War. And I think Tony as a character, my biggest problem with him is that he always learns the wrong lessons. Like, he's always trying to do it all himself and always pins the blame on other people because he wants to be in the right. So he's almost covering his ass by fucking making more robots or making more crazy stuff. And I think it would be so much more satisfying if we see Tony kind of really reevaluate himself and just take a step back from it all and put it in the hands of someone else. And I think it would be really rewarding for Cap to sacrifice himself, as his character's always been driven by, you know, doing what's right, making the sacrifices you need to take in order for, you know, everyone else to live on. And it would really round off nicely with Captain America, the First Avenger, if, yeah, he did the thing. So yeah, thanks for watching this really weird impromptu video. I might end up doing more shit like this just because, like, it's really easy to do, and to be honest, I'm really sick of the video essay format. I don't enjoy the process anymore. It's just really tedious and creatively stagnating. Yeah, I need to do something a bit different to keep this channel afloat, because video essays take so much time, so much effort, and I lose motivation for it every time. And it's hard to make them interesting, you know, so if I do video essays again, I'll probably change it up a little bit by having, you know, video stuff like this in it as well, and maybe narrative elements. So let me know what you think of that. Yeah.